This is Appalachian ADV Rider. Hey, how you doing? I have this knife right here. This is the Bradford 3.5 Guardian 3.5. Look, it's kind of hidden behind my water bladder. I have a aftermarket Kydex sheath, and it's wrapped around. It's wrapped around the water bladder, and it's so easy to get to. I would get to it with my other hand, but holding the camera right now, so just trust me. So, man, look at that. Trying to get it to focus. It's a pretty good sized knife. Yeah, there we go. Definitely a pretty good sized knife. Has a great handle, nice rounded handle. Feels awesome in the hand. The jimping falls right in place. It's just, I remember the first time I got this knife and I opened it up in the box. Comes in this almost like a baseball card box. It's just substantial. It has weight to it. This full tang stock is pretty thick. You know, I'm not measuring it. This is not a review. This is a first impression. And thank you for watching. And actually, I'll take this opportunity to say, please like the video and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see this content. But yeah, so I'm riding, I'm hanging out. Check out my motorcycle. Suzuki DRZ 400. USA made blade. Yeah, you got a 3.5. Difference between the 3.5 and the 3.0 is this 3.5 doesn't have a finger groove. It fits really well in the hand. It's a big blade. It's a Magnacut, which is this newest super steel, and you don't have to worry about corrosion. And this thing, man, come in sharp. This knife carries like a scout carry, and it comes in a leather sheath, which I don't have on it. I bought a aftermarket Kydex sheath, mainly because you can take the straps and put it around the material and then snap it together, as opposed to the leather sheath where it has to go around the belt and you have to like string it, or it has to go along something and then you have to string it through it. And it's just a little more cumbersome than to be able to take your strap and just wrap it around it and buckle it. So man, this knife just feels really great in the hand. It's ergonomic. It's just the scout carry on a fixed blade is the way to go. And you know, I love and hate a fixed blade in a sense, because you know, I really want it to carry it. It's, you know, it's tougher, it's stronger than a folding blade, and it's got a lot of, you know, things going for it. But you know, the thing that it's not going for it is obviously its size, and that scout carry solves that problem in my mind, because you know, it carries horizontally and it just tucks away. I mean, I have a small little Mazda Miata, and I can wear this knife in the scout carry and drive in that car, which is tiny, and I don't even feel the knife. So that's a testimony to that, the way this thing carries. And it's stout. Like I said, this thing is stout, and the tip is pretty strong, and the Magnacut, just a great steel. Everything comes rounded and chamfered. And now that I can carry it outside like this on my pack and grab it so easily, I like this thing even more. I mean, this is, I think, for finally I'm going to start using this thing. It's just, normally I don't carry a fixed blade, even though it carries so easily. You have to have the right clothing for it. So in using this aftermarket Kydex sheath attached to the back of this water bladder has solved the issue of how am I going to carry this blade when I ride my motorcycle. The snap-on construction allows me to take this kydex sheath and just wrap it around the water bladder and wear it on the outside of my jacket. And it's just so easy to grab, and it's right here, and it solves a problem that I was having with my neck knife, that I had put like a rope necklace, for better words, paracord necklace around my neck, and I would wear it. And it's a small knife, but it would just rub against my neck, that paracord. So this is now affixed to the water bladder that I like carrying, because I can drink at any time. It's just easy to get to, and comfort. It's all about comfort now, keeping me in the game, doing what I'm doing, right? And then just being able to have this knife here, it's Magnacut, so you're not worried about the rain or weather conditions. Though I understand that micarta, which is what this handle is, when it gets wet, sometimes it gets slimy. I have never had a micarta handle get wet yet, so this is a new carry system for me. A lot of times it's, like I say, it's a neck knife, and it's underneath the jacket, and this jacket is Gore-Tex, and nothing gets, well, very little underneath gets wet from penetration from the membrane of the jacket. Anyway, yeah, this is just a great carry system for this knife. I'm going to start carrying this from now on and get rid of my neck knives, or not get rid of it, just stop using my neck knives for the time being, because this is a significantly larger knife that carries much more comfortably, and it's got a great steel. And let's face it, what's the reality of how many times does a normal person use a knife during a day? Unless you're in, working in an environment where you're cutting packages or material for a living, then like an office worker like myself, I barely ever use a knife for anything, quite honestly. But it's a tool, and I like having that tool available, and especially on a motorcycle. I'm in the woods, oftentimes by myself, and it's just an environment that's filled with more risk than walking down the street or being home or laying on the couch, because I'm just out there doing stuff randomly, and random stuff happens to random people. So the nice thing about this is, no matter what happens to me, this should come along with me. I mean, if I guess if the water pack gets ripped off of me, then the knife would go with it. So if I lost this particular knife, it would be what it would be, right? Things happen sometimes, and I actually have a secondary knife. This is the Para 3 in S110V. But the video is not about this, but I will be reviewing this. So don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and when I post a video on this, you'll be the first to know. Carrying a fixed blade on a normal everyday basis is difficult for me, because it's larger. This blade actually carries pretty well, because you can do the scout carry like I talked about. But still, on the other hand, you'd have to have the certain type of clothing, and I don't know. I mean, a folding knife is just easier to carry. But on a motorcycle, especially for the way I dress and the type of riding that I'm doing, because I'm wearing very protective gear that has like Kevlar and ceramics and Gore-Tex and whatever, that it's nice to have a knife on the outside of my gear that has easy access to it. So I purchased the aftermarket kydex sheath that hopefully I can put up in the top left hand corner or right hand corner somewhere here what it was. But I can take this knife and wear it externally and have easy access to it while I'm riding the motorcycle. And I do appreciate the toughness of a fixed blade in this situation, where I'm out randomly and who knows what I'm going to get into, especially based on some of the guys I hang out with, right? And you know who you are, guys. Um, they get me in trouble sometimes, right? I'm not always the bad guy, but I do follow along, so I take ownership of that. And that's not the point. The point is, fixed blades are hard for me to carry, except for in this environment because I'm fully geared up, and this is an extra. I don't know how many ounces, and I don't really care because it, it's about my gear set for what I'm doing, and having a reliable fixed blade that's tough is definitely part of my gear set without a doubt. And this is now has become my go-to knife. And even though I owned it for a while, it's nice to finally say to myself, I like the way I can carry this knife and have it on me. I love being prepared, and I love having a great blade on me just to have, especially when I'm out by myself or whatever. When I'm out away from home in an environment where I might need something, to cut myself loose or whatever, I like having a fixed blade. And with that Kydex carry, and the system that I'm using now, I can get to this knife a lot easier than I can get to a folder. And this has now become my go-to knife to wear while I'm riding. It's just a great size, great steel, fantastic ergonomics, and great way of carrying it and ease of access. So that's my first impressions of this knife. I will, use it more now, obviously, and I'll have it on me when I'm camping, which is probably when I get the most use out of any knife, because I'll use it for food prep in particular, but in particular it'd be food prep. But I tend just to use the knife a little bit more during camping. Anyway, YouTube, man, I just love doing this. Thank you so much for joining and watching my silly little videos and commenting down below. Of course, if you have any questions, please comment down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this video and to my channel. I really appreciate you supporting me. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.